how to make Schaefer cabinet doors from scratch. Okay, you start out with a solid piece of wood. I start out 2 9/16 wide, and if you start out one that big, I'm going to show you how to build a 17 3/4 by 20 1/2 tall Schaefer cabinet door. You'll start out on your height of your door, you'll cut 2 boards 20 1/2 tall, and on the width, since you're wanting the door to come out 17 3/4, you got to minus 4 1/4 off this 17 3/4, which would give you a centerpiece of 13 1/2 inches wide. So you need 2 boards 13 1/2 and 2 boards 20 1/2. Once you get the doors cut, or the 4 pieces of wood cut, you go over to a big Schaefer, you stick it in here like this here, you'll clamp it down, then you'll run it through there, and when you run it through, it'll come out on one end just like that. Then you flip the board over like this, clamp it back down again, you run it back through the Schaefer again, and these here will be your sideboards. And you pull it out, then you have one end like that and one end like that. Then you go over to another Schaefer and you run it through just like this, and it will make a groove on this side. You'll need 2 boards like this of your 13 1/2 inch boards. Then you will need your 20 1/2. You don't need to do the side notches at the end down here. You just need to make a long notch for your door panel to go in here, and you'll run it down the Schaefer like this, all the way down through there, and then you'll make a groove in it all the way down. You'll do 2 boards like that. Then once I do that, and I come over to this sander, and right where you'd Schaefer this, normally it'll kind of ripple it up. You stick it on here, and you'll sand it just a little bit, just enough to make it back smooth again. Then once you do that, then you will go cut you one panel that fits in between these 2 boards that you put together. And I'll show you that here in just a second. Then you'll go cut you a piece of 1/4 inch plywood or whatever kind you're using in your center panel. The door was 17 3/4 wide by 20 1/2 tall. Your panel will need to be 16 1/4 long by 13 1/2 wide. What you're doing, you're minusing off 4 1/4 inches on the length and 4 1/4 inches on the width. Then when you get ready to put it together, you'll take and you'll put glue on this end and this end. Okay, on putting them together, take this here and you glue these 2 ends like that, like that. And I always just take my finger and just wipe the glue on there. That way it gets smeared over real good. And you just need a good place to put them together at. Do the same thing on this side. Wipe the glue on there real good. Try not to get it all over everything, because then it's just a lot more sand and a lot more cleanup. Like that there. And I always mark my boards, keep them all facing the same direction. It just makes it easier to put them together. Then slide your panel in there. that board started. Now come in and slide this board in. And then just kind of line it up at the top. Make sure it's good and square at the bottom. Tap on it, and straighten the top side up a little bit, but you're going to come back and you're going to sand it, level it, straighten everything up here in a minute anyway.
You're still in it.
And then you take your clamps, I use 2 clamps, put them on here. And you'll clamp it down. Tighten them up where you pull all the gaps out of it. And you come in with a 23 gauge pin nailer and you'll shoot 1, 2, 3. All the way around it, and then I always come back right here on the edges and put a couple little tacks. And that's all you do on putting the door together, and I'll show you what it looks like after I get done sanding it. After final sanding, the door will come out like this. This here is what a final project should look like after making a Schaefer cabinet door. Should look just like that.